can black people be racist?
Yeah, they're the most racist race out there. My roommate's black and he says the exact same thing.
Bruh.
You say you joined your first gang when you were 9.
I was facing like 10 years in prison.
I'm going to school in the HBC, right? 10,000 students, 100 were not African American. They're in the cafeteria, the black nationalists. You see all them white people all over the globe? Put them on an island and drop a nuclear bomb on them. Y'all know we genetically superior to these motherfuckers, right? I'm walking by with a salad and I'm like, preach! Seeing that as a kid, I didn't even understand what the fuck was going on. I thought Serbian was a swear word.
I was a refugee when I was there.
Yeah, no one thought there would be a war.
Saying that, everyone was in denial.
The lesson is that shit can happen anywhere. As soon as you other someone, you other another group, you say they, this, them, you don't see yourself in their shoes, it's over. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of NEM's World Uncut, brought to you by Content Day. Today we got a special episode, just the originals, just the boys. And I know you guys have seen us, put out a bunch of episodes thus far with really dope guests and friends, but we got the original friends today. You guys don't really know much about us, aside from whether you know us or not. We wanted you guys to get to know us a little bit more today. That's what I'm trying to say.
By us getting to know each other.
Well, we want to get to know you guys in the comments, but for today's episode, you guys are going to get to know us a little bit better. Do you think Afghanis can be racist?
I mean, there's always racism, every culture, every ethnicity.
I'm Jamaican.
Do you think Jamaicans can be racist?
Of course.
Zimbabwean.
Jamaican.
Do you guys think that Zimbabweans and Jamaicans can be racist?
Of course.
Anyone can be.
I'm from Afghanistan.
Do you think Afghani people can be racist?
Yes, sure.
Do you guys have 2 tribes, right?
Yes, sure.
And do they get along?
Yes, actually.
That's good.
I'm Chinese.
Chinese. Do you think Chinese people can be racist?
Yeah, of course.
I'm Palestinian.
I'm Egyptian.
Oh, the Habibis are in the house.
People used to say that no one is born racist and you gotta be taught to be racist. I think it's the opposite. You have to be taught not to be racist.
Do you think Egyptians can be racist?
I think Egyptians can be very racist. We have a lot of stereotypes about a lot of different people because we don't see other races that often. People who come here, that part kind of dies down, but still, you grow up with it. So obviously you're programmed to think that way.
I'll intro how I met both of these guys. I think I met Mirko first. I think it was 2015, acting school. I went to university for film, so writing, directing. And then I was a stand-up comedian for a long time. But then I wanted to hone my skills as a serious actor. So I went to acting school, one of the top acting schools in the city. And, there's very few Serbian or Balkan people that you would expect to see at an acting school because our parents are kind of the further east you go, the more strict your parents are and they want you to be an engineer. Well, he did end up being an engineer. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Good actor at heart. But basically, I saw some guy with a Serbian name and I'm just no way, I'm not the only Serb here. That's I didn't expect that.
You know what? It was funny because there's that list when you walk into class of people auditing or newcomers or whatnot. I walk in the list just to see what number my scene is in because it also shows you when you're going. And I'm looking at the list and I see this name Stankovic. I'm like, I know a Stankovic.
You know
I'm
right
that's
away when you hear
Serb.
that shit.
I'm like, who's that? And I look at the seats and it's people's backs and this is huge towering motherfucker. I'm like,
that's Stankovic.
That's the Serbian guy.
That's fucking Stankovic right there. That's him. Look at his back.
Yeah, so that's how me and Mirko met, and then we had a bunch of scenes together, and then we're very different in our own ways, but similar, in other ways, and we became friends. I think we became super close when we ended up moving to LA for a bit and creating together. That was when we got super close right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then with this guy, it was shortly after, around that time, maybe a year after I met him, I met you. And I was working security at Citizen, which is, during the day, it's a restaurant. Then they would change it to a bar. Then it'd become a nightclub on weekends. It was one of the most popular spots in the city. Now they rebranded it to Myth.
Myth.
Yeah, Myth.
Yeah, shout out to those guys.
Shout out
Greek
to
spot.
the Brant House /Citizen/Myth.
Shout out to Johnny.
Shout out to
That's my
Johnny
boy
Unique and
for
Maddie
life.
Unique.
Johnny for life. That's
Run
my
in
boy.
the city, along with I got to shout out Charles Caboth, OG in the game as well.
Don't know,
These
I don't
guys
know.
built the city, so Inc. Entertainment and Unique Entertainment, you know, among many others, they run the entertainment industry in terms of nightlife in Toronto. And I was a bouncer, upscale club. I see this big guy. He was like, fucking, you were like 350 pounds at the time.
Yeah, like maybe 310.
You were big and jolly. He was
Big and
always smiling.
Happy.
Had big iced out diamond. Like his watch was like this big, and he was always like, yo, reach here. Let me tell you something. Yo, doc, let me tell you something. And I was like, who is this guy? I couldn't read him because I was like, is this guy fucking some weirdo, or is he just a happy guy, or is he like, I don't know if he's a real person. Like he seems like a cartoon character.
You want me to tell you something that nobody knows?
What?
When you met me there and I was working at job, I was on charges. I was facing like 10 years in prison and nobody knew. And see how happy I was?
Yeah.
I had to stay in that mind frame to be able to, like, you know what I mean? Understand what was going on. Like, thank God I was declared innocent after, you know what I mean? But that was all happening right then. I never told anybody.
Well, you're here.
Yeah,
You're free.
100%. Yeah. Praise God. God is good.
We're gonna talk about it today. So we became we worked like 3, 4, 5, 6 months where we were kind of like boys at work, but then once we started billing up like after work, late night parking lots.
Nah, tell the real story. This guy, okay, which camera? Which is the camera?
These ones are focused on you guys.
Oh, this one right here?
Yeah.
Okay, listen, this guy, downtown Toronto, 3 a.m. after the club. All right? I'm getting in my car and I'm pulling out. I'm being cautious of everything because if you don't know, like if you're watching this and you're not from Toronto, you don't understand. They said it's a great place, it's beautiful and everything, but 3 a.m., there's a lot of dangerous shit going on. It's like there's wolves all over the place. And you got to be careful. So like I'd be driving out of the club on my way home and I would see this guy walking down the street by himself and like we're in the club all night. Right? We get into fights all the time with people at the club while we're doing security.
Gangsters.
OGs, this place was no joke. Yeah, this mob. Yeah. This place was no joke where we worked. Yeah. Gangsters, OGs, mob, organizations would come here, police.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Crooked cops.
Crooked cops. This place was no joke.
Clean cops, crooked cops, everything in between.
Right. So now we're there. When you're doing security, man, and you're at the club and you're walking home, what if there's a group of people outside that you got into it with in there and they're like, and I see this guy walking down the road and I pull over and I wind it down the window like, yo, bro, what are you doing? He's like, yo, I'm walking home. I'm like, the fuck, man? Get in the car, dude.
I live down the street.
Yeah, he lived right down the street, but it was on my way. So I'm like, get in the car, man. I'll drive you home. And from that, he got in the car and I'm like, hey, bro, down here is dangerous, eh? Like, he's like, bro, I'm Serbian. And then he pulls out this big fucking thing, some long thing, extendable. You know what extendables? He's like, look at this.
I carried some shit with me.
What?
Yeah, I carried the extendo with me.
And I'm like, okay, this guy's smart. At least he knows.
You tap that on your knee, it'll crack your fucking knee. Just like a light tap, it'll break your bone.
Yeah, but then after that, we just kept driving home every night. After that, I kept driving him because I'm like, yo, we're going to go together. You know what I'm saying? Then we started, when we did one night, we were like, no. We went to the underground we used to park down there.
Yeah, with the
Somali And we built up a blunt and smoked the blunt.
That's how we
and that was it, bro. After that, and then we just stayed down there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. This guy was rapping. Yeah. Shit, I was rapping.
Yeah, this guy's one of the best rappers I've ever met in my life. His hidden talents.
Just hobby, you know?
Yeah, like we connected over like smoking up in those parking lots, you driving me home. And like I found out we have so much in common. We've both been through so much, but we choose to be happy people.
Yeah.
And like I heard about your story.
And I'm from the hood, so it wasn't like, yo, you know what I mean? I never judge anybody, but it's like I asked this guy, oh, one night you were telling me the story about when you played ball. And I said, yeah, you played ball?
Yeah.
It made sense because the guy's like fucking a giant, right? Yeah. So I said, where? The man said, Chicago. South Side. I said, South Side? That doesn't make sense.
I'll give people the lowdown because basically my generation was the last generation of hoopers before the floodgates opened for Canadians. So basically, that's right before the Tristan Thompson, Corey Joseph era. Shout out to them. They opened the floodgates to the NBA for Canadians. But before that, right before that, was my generation. But we always had talent in Canada. We just were never respected. So I had a few options playing Division I. I was ranked as high as the number 1 power forward in Canada of my graduating class. So, but with that, there was no respect. So I only had like a couple options, if anything. And then pretty much my coach was like, yo, you got to you got to go to Chicago State. And I'm like, all right, let's go to Chicago State. And it was a historical black college in Southside Chicago, in Chirac.
Wait, I want everybody to stop. Black college.
Yeah.
I know that shit sounded unbelievable. When I said to the man, where? He said, all black college. I said, and they took you?
Yeah.
He said, yeah. I said, fuck.
To be fair,
This nigga's on one.
they thought I was African, and the coach hated white people, which is a whole show I'm making. But like, I love my teammates there. I love my experience there. I'm doing a whole like comedic show I'm developing about that experience. But it was funny because I'm like Serbian, so like my skin's white, but I'm not white culturally. So like I have more in common with black people than white people in North America.
It's so
but then when
true.
I go up and they like people don't really understand those dynamics because in the States and Canada it's all like, you know, black,
It's
everything's
so
black
true.
and white, you know, left or right, black and white. It's like polarizing ideas. Do you think black people can be racist?
Very much so. I think they're the most racist culture out there.
Can black people be racist? Absolutely. We're racist. I'll keep it a buck.
Yeah, everyone can be racist.
I mean, yeah.
Everyone can be racist.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, they're the most racist race out there. My roommate's black, and he says the exact same thing.
When you ever go downtown with this guy? You ever been downtown with him?
Yeah. all the time.
Holy shit, bro. The guy knows everybody. If you're black, you know him. This guy knows all the black people. You go downtown, I know, not everybody.
I know
I'm just
all the
saying.
people.
But he does, it's true.
All shades.
All shit, but I'm just saying, bro. You'll never believe it. Like, every other person stopping this guy on the road, like, hailing him out and shouting him
in
out.
Canada, I went to Vaughan Road, which is
basketball.
predominantly Jamaican, a little bit of Albanian, but mainly Jamaican, like 90%, Caribbean. And that was a specific dynamic. And then I went to Chicago State, which is a HBC, 10,000 students, 100 were not African American. And out of those 100 that were not African American, 80 were Latino. So
Man, I love this guy.
So there's
I'm telling you.
20 white people in the school out of 10,000. And almost all the white people, ironically, were like athletes that were brought on scholarships. So like I showed up and I had this crazy experience and I loved it. And it was just such a wild ride. Unfortunately, I got into it like, I was a good kid. I was trying to go to the league. I was trying to go to the NBA. But then after 2 years, the coach is like, I can't have a white star at a black school. So
Politics,
like you could
bro.
either sit on the bench or like go to another school and pack your bags. And I was like in tears. And when you tell a kid that when you're
Politics,
19,
bro.
it's heavy.
It's a
It's
real
heavy.
thing. It's a
And
real
like
life
I
thing.
did everything he said. But then the guy got fired like 2 years after that. And like now I heard he's like a car salesman or
Yeah,
something.
good for him.
Like,
Good for you, buddy.
Karma.
You're where you belong.
He was a mean guy, and like the other coaches, assistant coaches like me. But he was the type of guy that if they said anything to stand up for me because they did love me, like he would fire them on the spot. He was like a tyrant,
What a
motherfucker.
weirdo.
You know, he talked like you know when Dave Chappelle would play those characters, he'd get angry, motherfucker, shut the fuck up, motherfucker. Like
He's one of
you would talk
those.
like that, and he's like, I remember when we lost to Northwestern. So Northwestern's like. We were like Southside Chicago. We were from the hood. We're a black school, right? Like so, and then Northwestern's like
This guy
the
made it on the team.
yuppie white, well-funded school, Ivy League, suburbs of Chicago. They mostly get like they like to get those Larry Bird type guys.
But all their players
they
are
have
good
black
though.
players too.
But all their
obviously.
players are wicked, the white ones.
They're one of the
100%.
bigger schools in D1, right? So Northwestern's known for that. There was a crosstown rivalry because our school got kicked out of our conference. We're still Division I, but we were playing just for fun for 2 seasons because we were on probation for 2 years because the old team, the year before I came, got into a brawl amongst themselves.
It's Southside
on ESPN,
Chicago, bro.
On ESPN,
Of course.
with amongst themselves. It was so embarrassing for them.
Chicago gets it in.
So they tried to
Embarrassing
bring in
or
a
not,
new
they got
coaching
it in.
staff, bring in everything, new team, everything. So I was going into that scenario. And then the people that they brought in were no better than, what
Of course
they
not.
had
It's just
before.
another set of men from the hood.
So it was an experience, and I enjoyed it, and I was really grateful for that experience, even though the coach was kind of an asshole. After that, I went to a born-again Christian school. I mean, I'm not
You were talking
Christian
about
myself.
losing to
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I digress. So this is a big test for us to get into
It happens
a
all the time.
conference, right? Our hood black school, our HBC, who's suspended for 2 years from a postseason play and being in a conference, still Division I, but we need to prove ourselves. And we need to play against, we need to get into a league like within Division I.
This
After
feels like
those
some.
two-
They do this a lot. They do this in football too.
It's going to
They
be
do
my
this.
show.
They do
Why?
this with the kids in football too.
Yeah, so we're on probationary 2 years, and it's the 2 years that I was there, the only 2 years. So this is our big chance.
Semi-pro with Will Ferrell. That's what it feels like.
But Division One, but so it's like the polar opposites, tale of two cities, suburbs versus hood. So we're the hood black school going up against the bougie, yuppie, white, rich school with the white, rich players and the moms. But we have a brand new stadium, so they're coming to us, and nobody knows about us in Chicago. So it's like the crosstown rivalry, like tale of two cities.
They're
hood
bringing
versus
those
suburbs.
guys to
White
you
versus
guys.
black, money versus
So they're bringing
poor.
them to the hood,
They came to the hood, but we don't have a fan base, so it's just their people in our stadium
cheering for them.
Yes, but the local news is there, everybody's there, and I come in as like
What a
a
setup.
hot prospect, and like we were playing against Michigan State. I started against Michigan State as a freshman, and they knew about my mixtape. This is before YouTube was popped off. Everybody was watching my mixtape.
That's
I was
crazy.
dunking on people and shit, and like I show up and I'm like, okay, I got to do whatever I can to go to the league, like prove myself. So then we're playing against Northwestern. I don't touch the floor, and we lose by 52 points. We get destroyed, bro. We get anally by
Man
these
didn't even
white
put you on at all.
These little Larry Bird running up, bloop, like the way they run is like they got carrots up their ass, but they're nice, and we get destroyed. And then it was like our coach was like, team meeting 3 a.m. Be there, or you're fucking kicked off the team. And so I wish I could stand up and do the impression, because normally I do the impression, but basically, he's like a fat Dave Chappelle. Like he's skinny fat. He's got a normal body, and then he got a little bit of a pouch here, and he's got his tracksuit ready, and he's got
This
his
is not
papers.
happening. Is someone knocking at the fucking studio door?
Ignore it. And then basically he's got his paper, and it's tucked into his tracksuit, and he's walking back and forth. He's like walking back and forth in front of and it's just a rerun of us getting destroyed on the screen, and everyone's like this at 3 a.m. Like he woke us up, and he's like walking back and forth. And he's like, motherfuckers, y'all motherfuckers, let these motherfucking white boys run you up and down the floor, motherfucking white boys. Y'all know we genetically superior to these motherfuckers, right? No offense, Paul.
Yeah.
No offense, Neil. No offense, Coach. But y'all know we genetically superior to these motherfuckers, right? And then there was only one other white guy on the team. It
I
was
love
a 7
this
foot
guy.
Polish
Where is
guy
this
who
guy?
they roomed me with.
Where did they find this
Paul.
fucking guy from?
And he whispers like, fucking like Hitler. and he's walking back and forth. He's like, and then he's like, "Argh!" And he snaps and throws a sofa chair, and we're all
Oh
just
my
like
God.
this. And we're just like quiet, because what else are we gonna do? You know?
No offense, Neil.
No offense, Liam. No
Yeah,
offense, Paul. No offense, Coach. But you know we genetically superior to these motherfuckers, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like quiet. Obviously, it's my first year. I'm not gonna say shit.
Yo, that guy's lit,
But after
bro.
the game, I'm trying to get my hot sandwich, because we get hot sandwiches after the game. And then the representatives of the league that were like trying to see whether we're good enough to play, he's like, you got a 6'9", 6'10"
How come he
star
wasn't on the?
from Canada.
How come that center wasn't on the fucking court?
Why didn't he play at all? You guys were outsized, and you guys 2 6'9", 6'10" European players. Why didn't they play? And he's like, he young and all that. And I'm like, yeah,
Nah,
tell him,
he-
like, get my hot sandwich. And I'm just like, yeah, tell him. And they're like making excuses and shit. I'm just like, shout outs to those league reps for seeing me. But I had a lot of problems at that school. But I learned so much about culture and like just people. The black struggle in America is like hectic, bro.
It is.
That the whole country is fucked. Like I have so much sympathy for Americans. You guys have gone through a lot in general, but I'm gonna do a show about it. I'm gonna do a show about the token Serb at a black school in the hood. It was like a circus.
That place is messed up.
Yeah.
How come they're giving away like 50 billion Ukraine, 50 billion Israel?
We're not getting into that. We're not.
This makes no sense, bro. And those places so mashed, like their own place. Why don't you just give a little 50 billion there?
Yeah.
Clean up the fucking place.
Tell me about your upbringing. You say you joined your first gang when you were 9.
It was, I don't know, you could call it a gang, but it's like my mom, when I first came to Canada, they lived in Regent Park. I went to school there, a school called Duke of York.
Called what?
Regent Park, Duke of York.
Duke of York?
Yeah.
Okay.
We lived on a street called Parliament Street. The way I came to Canada was fucked too, eh?
How'd you come to Canada?
So basically, I was in Guyana and I grew up with my grandparents. When I was born, my parents cut to Canada.
Yeah.
Right away, like within days. So I never really grew up with them. When I was like 6 years old, my grandma told me to hug my grandfather that we're going on a trip. All of a sudden, we're at the airport. Me and my grandma get on a plane. We fly all the way to Canada. Someone picks us up at the airport. She brings me to this place and shows me my mom and dad and said, "That's your mom and dad." And I was like, what the fuck?
So you got pawned off by your parents.
Next day I woke up, my grandma was gone.
Time out. You didn't meet your mom and dad until you were 6?
Nah.
So
I didn't even know about them, dog. They just put it on me like that.
So you thought your grandma was your mom?
Yeah. So no, that's why I can identify with people who've gotten kidnapped, bro.
Time out, because like that's the thing, is they just bring you to this random, they're like, that's your mom and dad. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know?
On
Is that
God.
really your mom and dad? Like genetically? Like,
yeah,
you do a
that they brought me
genetic
to,
test?
because they left in Guyana to come here so they can make a better life for me to bring me up here.
Yeah.
My grandparents never really showed me that.
Yeah, that's
you see what I'm saying?
That's a little
so now I wake up the next morning, my grandma's gone. So I'm there. Look, she told me, I walked up to my dad. He had on headphones and shit. So the man took off the headphones, looked at me, put it back on, like, you know? Maybe I was a problem or something. And the next day I woke up, my grandma's gone. I love this lady. My grandma was the best. Like any grandma, if you ever had a grandma out there, you know what grandma love is compared to. Grandma love compared to mom love is totally different.
Yeah.
How long did she stay though?
Who?
Your grandma.
The night, she was gone the next morning.
No easing.
No good.
Bro, you got pawned off by your mom to your grandma for 6 years, then you got pawned off by your grandma back to your mom 6 years later. And you didn't have any connection with them? Like your mom and your grandma?
Strangers. Wow. So I had to get to know these people. But what sucked was my grandma was gone the next day when I woke up. They didn't even wake me up to say goodbye or nothing.
Yeah.
So my mom was like, yeah, I'm your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be living here now.
Wow.
This is where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. I adapted this to learn, but I never really got along with them. Because the connection wasn't there. Like, you know, you have a connection with kids. Yeah. I never had that motherly connection with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you know, the regular shit, you get licks and shit. Like these kids today, they don't get no beats. You get beat for every little thing, bro.
Yeah.
Homework, all kind of shit. They're standing over you, ready to bust your ass if
Serbian
you forget a word or something. Like, geez. You know what I mean?
Maybe we should buy that domain. SerbianSpankings.com.
So now
sounds like a BDSM fucking type.
So now I'm there with them, and make things quick. I end up going to Regent Park, Duke of York.
Yeah.
I get in there. There's already a group of friends, of kids there, right? So like this gang stuff was the culture that we have here in Ontario was from a long time ago.
Yeah.
It started from even like when I was a kid. I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I got to the school and, you know, there was a group of kids there and the man's like, to be our group of friends, the only way you can become in this group of friends is to beat up one of us. And you got to beat the weakest one. And it was a kid named Joey. And I didn't really want to do it. I didn't want to beat up Joey. It was, so the leaders of this gang was a black kid named Anthony, Jamaican. Shout out to Anthony. If you see this, man, and because they'll know. And there was a little Vietnamese guy named Duong. Those were the leaders of that gang
so
at
you
years
had,
old.
as an initiation, you had to beat up the Joey kid to join the gang.
Had to beat Joey.
And you liked Joey.
Joey was cool. Fuck. So I beat Joey. After I beat, I beat the hell out of Joey.
You told me like you whispered in his ear as you like cracked him.
Like, fam.
You're like, sorry, bro. Like,
Yeah, man. Like I was apologizing to him while I was beating. Like, Joey, I don't even want to do this. It's like, fuck. Like,
hectic.
it was hectic. Story's not over, bro. And Duang, if you're out there and you're you know who you are, because you'll remember this story. I never lie. If I say anything on camera anywhere in this world, in this city, and you know me and you feel like that's wrong, you can check me. Toronto's that type of place. If you come out here and you talk shit and you lie, somebody will check you. You know what I'm saying? You'll get checked.
Facts.
But yeah, so Duang, after this is all done, shows up to my crib. And I'm like, how are these 8-year-old guys so fucking organized? He shows up to my crib and rings the bell. My mom answers the door. Like, I just got up to this country, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, could your son come out to play? He just joined our gang yesterday.
He said he just joined our gang.
Duang, wherever you are, man, like holler at me, bro. I was wondering where you guys
He's an
were.
executive
Regent
now.
Park, Duang, Vietnamese. And Anthony, great. You guys remember Duke York? Grade 2, grade 1. Remember? Anyways, tells my mom that, bro. You know, I'm West Indian, right? She slammed the door in the man's face. Told him to get the hell away from this house. And then, you know what happened then, right? What the fuck do you, okay, you're 8, little Vietnamese kid rolls up to your house.
They beat your ass.
Motherfucker, bro. Welch. Shout out to my mom and them. But yeah, Welch, bro. She beat the shit out of me for doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I hung out there for a little while, and I lived there for a bit, and then we moved from there to Flemo.
How was
Oh
Flemo?
shit!
And then
You were
after
at Flemington Park?
Yeah, I
That's
lived
where we
in-
came when we came to Canada.
Really?
Yeah, yo.
Don't lie, I was there from like 86 to like the
Grenoble.
90s.
I went to
I went to
Grenoble for
Grenoble
you.
too. This is why, you see, this is why it's my guy right here. That's why,
Grenoble.
see? This is how I know. See how we get along? That's
Yeah,
why.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I lived in Flemo for a bit. Like I went to Grenoble, I went to Valley Park, I went to Garneau too.
I was supposed to.
No, the grade
I
9
left-
year we moved.
I left grade 1 though. I was like 6 when we
The
left.
grade 9 year we moved to Pickering to get a better life.
Yeah.
But then after a year or two after that, they couldn't afford it. And then we moved to Chester Lee.
What years were you there?
Chester Lee, Glendower area.
Tell me, what years? Like from 90 what to what?
So 86 to, I would say 86. I got to Flemington Park in 86 from Regent. And
Yeah.
from 86 to... Like maybe even 96.
That's when I left.
97. It was like
So
a
you
10.
guys maybe saw each
I
other.
rubbed a good 10 years
97.
in Flemo. You know, I still
Sorry,
talk to some of those
97.
older guys, like, not the younger guys, because those guys are all into politics on every area.
Yeah.
But like all my friends as an OG that I grew up with from all these blocks that I just mentioned, I still talk to a lot of them.
Yeah.
They're out of the scenes. They're out of this bullshit. But a lot of us still are involved with this stuff, but not us. Like, I don't play around
Talk
with
to
us.
us about the scene. What scenes did you get into?
Growing up,
Yeah.
all kinds of shit, man.
Yeah.
I love basketball like you too. But you know, when you live in these hoods, I even ended up, and after Chester Lee, I moved to Rexdale for a while on my own. Like I left everything in Scarborough where it was. I lived in Scarborough I stayed in Scarborough for a couple years, and then I moved out to the west, bro. And I lived out there like by Humberline and Rexdale.
So what were you doing for a living?
For a living?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is on the streets out here. I tried 1-2 jobs and it wasn't working out.
Yeah.
I did what everybody.
My cousin did
Factory shit and stupid
okay.
shit, like just where they
Yeah.
slave you.
Yeah.
And you're on, like,
And
it's
you're like, fuck this shit, I gotta survive.
dude, it's real slavery working in a warehouse job,
Yeah.
man. Like, the reason why I left the warehouse for the streets and I stayed in the streets so long is because that job lifestyle didn't work out. Like, okay, quick story, I went to this job, I was doing a warehouse job when I first started, I was like young, right? Real young, like teenager. I went like 18, 17, started doing the job. There was a guy that was working there as a supervisor for like fucking 30 years.
Yeah.
Great supervisor.
Yeah.
Had the warehouse running amazingly. We were doing everything he told us he was doing. It was a good job. Then all of a sudden, they fired that guy and hired some guy who fresh out of college and university. The man was like 24, 25 to be the supervisor.
Oh shit.
And he just came right in like with this attitude like, I'm going to fix things around here. I used to drive like the forklift and shit them times.
Yeah.
I used to hang out with this older white lady at lunchtime named Kim. We used to smoke cigarettes together.
Yeah.
Kim was the shit. We talk about fucking Christmas and all the shit that we like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was young, but she was old. Kim was like fucking 50-something. I was 19.
Yeah.
But it was my cigarette buddy at work, bro.
Yeah.
Like, she liked Christmas. I like Christmas.
Classic.
Yeah. She liked food. I like food. You know what I'm saying? So, we would just kick it. So, she's the warehouse laborer. Long story short, she's, you know, the pallet trucks, pump trucks that you stick in to raise up the pallets?
Yeah.
She got stuck and she couldn't get it out. I was driving behind the forklift. So I hop off the shit to go help her. Here comes fucking Tony the Tiger that they just hired, running across the dock like this. Because it was a long dock. And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck's wrong with this dude?
Got the Scientology.
She's like, he's coming over here. He's coming over here. Yes. He pulls up. What's going on here? I said, yo, relax. Kim couldn't get the pump truck out and I just jumped off the forklift. He's like, well, you stay on your truck and if there's something that she needs, she can come talk to me about it. I said, buddy, first of all, you're fucking 24 years old. This is me telling the man this at like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have some fucking respect for the older lady, bro.
Yeah.
All right? Talking like that. Like, just have some respect. Like, this whole, we work off of respect.
Yeah.
He's like, but then he came with this whole boss and management and I'm this and I'm that and this and that and da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying?
And you're like, fuck this shit.
And the
I'm going to
fucking
the
guy,
streets.
listen, when I was young, I was already in the street, buddy.
Yeah.
I was just trying to work a job before. It wasn't like the job made me go to the streets. As a young nigga, I did stupid shit at 13, 14, 15, all over the streets. Dumb shit that I'll never talk about, right? Yeah. But fucking I'm there, bro. I'm there. Fucking the guy wants a new regime in the place. And the way I have that workplace, I have a bunch of niggas from Saga, a bunch of niggas from the hoods, a bunch of niggas from Brampton working there because I put on everybody. So like everybody that works there would beat him if I said so. We could all leave out this workplace. They were ready. It's just I was trying to get everybody.
You were running a gangsters union.
Pretty much, bro. I was trying to get people off the street, bro, not go do the dumb shit.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Right? Because I saw it, I knew it. I grew up in this shit. I told you, look how my life grew, how I grew up in all these hoods, right?
Yeah, bro.
So I knew that I saw the trap, I saw the fuckery. You know what ended up happening? We're out in the smoking section one day, and one of my little men them that were with me, that I put onto the job was there. And he took his cigarette like we always do, and threw it on the floor. Because at the end of the shift, one of the workers, one of us will either pick it up or whatever, or the cleaning guy will pick it up. Here comes Mr. fucking, I can't say his name just in case he tries to sue me or shit, because he remembers this story fully well.
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, Tony the Tiger fucking goes, hey, to my little man. And this little guy was a savage. Like, I made him take off his bandanas to come work with us and all kind of shit. Like, you know what I mean? He was a savage little guy.
Yeah.
Man threw his cigarette down. Fucking Tony the Tiger's like, hey, pick that up and put it in the thing. The man looks at him and says, who the fuck you talking to, bro? You know, Toronto man, kids are already like, you think you're sick?
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of talk to the man.
Yeah.
And my boy stepped up and the little man went like this, bro, to hit the fucking supervisor, bro. And I grabbed the youth's hand and I said, no, don't do that. Chill, don't do that. You know what I mean? The next day I got a fucking phone call from the fucking job agency. Yeah, DNR, you got DNR'd? And I was like, what's that? They're like, yeah, do not return ever, like to this place. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem.
You got DNR'd for that?
Yeah.
Because he's the broker with the pipeline of the workers.
I'm always the broker.
So the pipeline.
Any job I've ever went to in this warehouse stuff, I fuck around. I walk right into the office. I walk up in management. I walk up in their office. If they have lunch and we don't, I take their food.
That's why you and I are such close friends, because we're always looking to put people on and connect people and help people.
I swear to God, the last workplace I worked at, I swear to God, you're all out there. You can attest. All you know, remember this. I worked with a bunch of Somalians that lived by like Dixon Road. We worked in this big factory. And these people would treat us like different. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're different from them. And they would order Swiss chalet and all kinds of shit and have the food up in the office. My bro, I would walk up into the office, grab a fucking quarter chicken, put on my plate fries. Sometimes the bosses and management would come up and be like, what are you doing, Steve? I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? You have this shit right here in our face. Like, it's not fair, man. I had to order for the whole workplace or take your staff to Swiss chalet or I'm going to come in here every time and eat. And that's what I'll do every time they would order. I just go in there and eat off their shit.
Wow.
They ordered for
anytime anything would go wrong in the workplace with any of the workers, I would make sure I'd tell management I'd be the go-between. Any workplace I work at, I'm the go-between between all the workers and these people.
The broker.
Because my bro, if there's not somebody like me in a warehouse or a workplace or any of these slave type environments, no disrespect to anybody that works in a warehouse, because I did it for a couple of years. It sucked, but I did it. I got lucky enough to find something better to do. You know what I mean? But these slave type environments, it's just a dangerous. It's the reason why I even left the streets, other than the fact like, oh, I told you they're trying to give me 10 years in prison. The reason why I left is because this whole internet stuff. Like even this here, like all these kind of stuff. Like even though I've been out for years, a couple years, well out of the streets, bro. Yeah. You still gotta watch what you say.
100%.
Because the way things are looking these days, like things are getting brought up on people and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, facts.
And nobody's from our generation. We grew up in this out here, like living low key.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing the most gangster shit, shooting up blocks and shooting up everywhere and all kind of stuff.
Well,
like
our generation
you still live low key, but no, these guys shoot up the blocks or shoot up stuff or whatever, and they go right to the internet.
They post it.
They're dumb.
And they're like
incriminating.
Gotcha, nigga. Like stuff that we would have never done.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like you don't have to, what they don't understand is you don't have to do that. Because we never had the internet growing up. We never had it like that. We never had all these apps that you could just go on and be like, haha. So you would hear about people like us. You would hear the nicknames. People be famous just from that. You know. Oh, you going over there? That's so-and-so's black. So-and-so and them are over there. Or oh, you heard what so-and-so and them did to so-and-so? Yeah, and that'll be all across the city. So I know personally you don't need internet for that.
The biggest thing I think that caught my eye about you is like how much you've gone through and like what you had to do and the world you were in, and you still choose to be a happy, good-hearted person.
Yeah.
Everything that you've
like,
been through.
You remember, like, yo, dude, remember Luke? R.I.P. to Luke. God rest his soul. Another security guard that we used to work at is like, it was me, you, Luke. Like, those are the times that, how long ago was that? Was that 10 years ago?
No, it was like 6 years ago.
Was it like 6, 7 years ago?
6, yeah. 6, 7.
Damn, I was in the streets up till then. I thought I was up for like 10 years, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, yo, dude, I would come to work and show these guys like fucking, I'd have 10 bands here, another 15 bands here.
Yeah.
Another 20 bands in my fucking, another 20 bands in my fucking bag.
You show up to work like that?
Yeah.
Why did you?
I'll tell you why.
Why did you have to bring that to work?
Okay, I'll tell you why.
He had a big black suit. He was really chubby, and he had a big diamond watch and a giant chain under the suit. And he'd be like, "Yo, it's good."
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. That time, you know how this street shit goes. Sometimes your life gets into shambles and stuff goes wrong and certain things. And like I said, I was on charges facing, you know what I'm saying? I had to move and do certain things. Like anybody out here that been in this lifestyle would understand, you know what I mean? I just changed my life around for the better for the last 6 years. Shit, I've been telling people 10. But okay, 6, right? I've been changing my life for the better, whatever, right? But if I didn't trust anybody at that time where I was in certain things. So like certain times I had money, and I didn't want to leave it at certain places. And I had other shit going on in storages that I just didn't want to go to get the rest of the money. But I always had money on me too because my lawyer was costing so much money, bro. Like that guy cost me almost 100. Like that guy cost me a lot of money. The end of the day, I still got what I walked free from that charge, and they realized I was innocent. Like Snoop Dogg. I was innocent. And then I just, kind of after that, I just said, yo, you know what, buddy? Like, this is just, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this.
But what are the only outcomes of staying in the streets? Like, you can speak.
Oh, we all know the outcomes, bro.
There's 2 outcomes.
There's only 2 outcomes. Like, if you're the part of the, like, 1%ers that get away with it, and that's 1%. Just like the billionaires, the guys that actually get their money and use their brain and invest the stocks, right? The guys that don't put their family's life in jeopardy or let people know where their spot is. The guys that live far away.
Don't get people excited.
The guys
Everyone's
that
gonna think that they're the 1%.
The guys that don't go to the fucking club every weekend and show off their things, right? Like, just don't show off your things, man. I know coming from a guy like me that used to walk around the city wearing all kind of chains and all.
Bro, I seen pictures of you with you had a Rolls Royce. You had
all kinds of shit.
What's the most money you had on your neck at once?
Chains? Fuck, probably like. Maybe like 30K, 40K. Back then we didn't have money like how you could buy the 100K chains and stuff.
Yeah.
And back then, like when I was rocking those chains, if you really look back in the city, it's 7 years ago, nobody was really rocking any chains like that. It's just the young gen came up with it. I was like, me and certain people from my generation, that 40-year generation, a special breed that had up all the chains and you know what I mean?
You had the grill too.
I had grills like crazy.
This guy was smiling like this. I used to have back in the day too, before anyone was doing that shit.
Yeah.
Bro,
Cameron was doing it.
I remember as a kid, like all the rappers had those spinners. I wanted to.
Listen, the grills I had were like grills with rows of diamonds, right? The rows. So
Yeah.
when people see that, they know you got the paper. It's
Yeah.
not the regular grills with just caps, which are good too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you get the grill that's a rectangle and the bottom. So my next grill, I'm gonna share this with you because I'm out of that scene now. I'm not really into that stuff. I'm more into like real estate and all that kind of stuff now. Like that's what we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Forget the chains and all this other stuff. We'll leave that to the kids. But I'm gonna give this to you guys for free. I was gonna get like a grills where the top and the bottom part of the grill, when it's closed, when I close my teeth together, it would form the flag of my country. So it'd be the Guyanese flag, red, green, and gold. So the top, you wouldn't tell if my mouth's open, you wouldn't tell by the top and the bottom. It would just look like diamonds and gold. But if I close my thing, it forms the picture of the Guyanese flag. That's what I was going to next, because my dentist would send the moles out to New York because my teeth are fucking jacked. They're like, you know, when you have those, like my teeth are, I don't really want to show it off like that, but they're jacked.
We see them.
You know when you thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Hey,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
your
When
teeth aren't that bad.
No, but you know when I'm talking about when you're crookedish?
Yeah.
So the dentists down here don't want to fuck with it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably gonna get a new name from this now. Niggas out there gonna be like, hey, crooked teeth, wagwan. But anyways.
They call me Dumbo because I have big ears.
Yeah, but who
They
doesn't?
say go back to your
I have big ears
genocidal
too,
shithole country.
I have big ears too, though. Better to hear you with.
Yeah, I'd be crying every day, getting bullied by white kids. Then I go to the hood, get bullied by black kids. The white kids are like, you shithole
All
Russian.
good kids get bullied, bro.
And then the black kids would be fucking white boy, and then the white kids would be like, go back to your shithole genocidal country. And it's like, I'm like, what's going on? But I get you. That's why we get along.
A lot of bullies weren't even bullies from youth. They just turned into bullies. Because somebody probably bullied them.
Well,
and they
yeah,
said,
bullies
"Fuck
are
this."
bullies because they're suffering either at home or somewhere else.
Yeah, at home or
But I just want to finish our story. I got along with you because you've been through so much. You were in the streets, and like you got out of that around the time that we were meeting. But like you were always a good-hearted person. He's one of the nicest human beings that I know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, man. And we clicked because we're both immigrants.
You're the same way too, though.
Yeah, we both grew
you
up
have a
with
good heart.
Yeah.
You're kind, and that's why me and you clicked right away.
And then we
bro.
clicked because we were both rappers. You know, I started rapping, started going viral as a rapper, and you would be because I only did comedy shit, and you were the one who made me take it seriously because you're too talented to just do jokes. And I respect you for that, and I have a lot of love for you.
You see, the thing is, same.
You opened up my eyes that I don't have to just be in one lane. I could be in multiple lanes. And you've always been that friend that's always been motivating me and pushing me. And it's like an infectious, positive energy that you have. So like people know that right away when they meet you, and it's like
Thanks,
that's
bro.
why we grew to be like best friends.
Yeah. I appreciate that, bro.
We're out here doing our thing now. So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
100%. Of course, man.
Yeah.
I love your whole family. Your mom, your sister, your dad.
Likewise.
This guy's dad's the man.
Nena Toronto. Shout out to my Pops' channel, Nena Toronto. Go follow him. He's blowing up. But let's talk about acting and your life and how you came up. You escaped the war zone.
I was going to say my life was beautiful, peachy clean, no bullying, no guns, no violence.
Just burnt houses and ethnic cleansing.
I was lucky we got away from that. I mean, for a long time I kind of knew that story, but like maybe a year or two ago, my parents like sat me down. They kind of like really explained kind of how it sort of went down, which I don't know. I haven't memorized it like fully 100%, but just like listening to it, I'm like, damn, like I couldn't imagine. Like I'm 30 right now. I'm 33. My parents were like 32, 33 as well. They had two little kids, and the life that like everything, you're like, yeah, you have all these plans, ideas. My mom was just about finishing her master's.
My mom was my mom became a doctor, and then the war broke out.
Yeah, my mom was working in a pharmacy. She was finishing her master's in biochemistry. And you have all these plans and ideas for your life, just cut. And it's like, all right, now survive. Grab everything you have and leave and start a new life.
Yeah.
And so on top of that, my dad's legs were broken too, because his story.
Legs were broken?
Both of them?
Yeah, he had two broken legs.
Oh my God.
When the war broke out?
No. So a few years earlier, around the time my mom met him, he ran out of a bus or into a bus. I forgot. I think out of a bus, and he got like hit like head on by a cop car, and busted both his legs. And for like years he was in a wheelchair, and like he had like these metal rods that were holding his bones like together to like help them like kind of reform.
No way.
Yeah, and so around that time is like when he kind of took them out, and then when we moved to Serbia.
Well, where'd you go? Where were you born?
I was born in, well, back then it was called Yugoslavia, but it's nowadays Croatia. Lived in Karlovac.
Yeah.
Born in Požega because my mom was from there, and she knew my grandfather knew the nurses and the doctors. He was popular.
So you guys are Serbian from Croatia.
Yeah.
Freeze the press.
Yeah.
There's no more Yugoslavia?
No.
What the fuck?
No, shout out to Yugoslavia.
Dude, this is how I got the news. That's like the same thing when they said somebody came to me like fucking a year or two ago. They're like, yo, there's no more Palestine. Like, there's no more Palestine? Like, what are these guys doing? This fucking...
Steve's been busy with other things.
Yeah, one of my best friends when I grew up in Flemo was a Yugoslavian, bro. There was enough of them.
We
His
all
name was
were
Fatty.
Yugoslav.
I went to Serbia.
His name was Fatty. He had red hair. He was
Fatty.
and red freckles, but he was Yugoslavian. I know.
I was
Fatty?
Yugoslavian too.
My
You know,
boy.
Quick interjection.
No, he was Yugoslavian.
I mean, we're all
Back then,
Yugoslavian.
there was that.
It was all one country, right? So like when I came in kindergarten, it was during the war. I didn't speak English, and the ladies were like, "Oh, like, you know, like keep Nemanja in check, Nemanja."
I didn't even know how to pronounce your name.
What's not my name? I didn't understand anything what they were saying, and there's these old ladies running the kindergarten. And they tried to sedate me with like oranges, and like they tried to like hold me down. I'd be screaming. I'd be so scared, you know, because I didn't speak the language. But all I remember understanding them saying is, "He's Serbian, he's Serbian," and
That's fucking traumatizing.
and I'd start screaming because I thought Serbian was a swear word because of everything you'd see on the news every day. And Serbian genocide, Serbs are the bad guys. And yeah, Serbs did a lot of fucked up shit during the 90s war, but so did
Everybody else does.
And like Serbs were the scapegoat. Just like you have in every conflict, you have the aggressor painted. There's always two sides to every coin. But like seeing that as a kid, I didn't even understand what the fuck was going on. I thought Serbian was a swear word, and I'd be screaming, "I'm Yugoslavian. I'm Yugoslavian." So
You can't be doing that to a kid, bro.
Just to understand like the times, it was a fucked up time to be Serbian. Even up to this day, they still label us as like in a really negative light compared to the rest of the Balkans. And personally, I'm Yugoslavian. I see us all as one group of people. I love all of the former Yugoslavs, but like it wasn't easy growing up Serbian, and I was Serbian from Serbia, where there was no war or killing. There was bombing in the late 90s with NATO, but we dipped before that. But like he was from a place that got ethnically cleansed if you were Serbian, and you know, people were trying to have their own republics and towns and states, and people started turning on each other. It was really ugly like to see, because like how do you like make an ethnically pure state with a group of people that are essentially ridiculous. The same tribe, you know?
They do this shit everywhere, man.
It's stupid. But anyway, sorry to interject. You guys were in that region.
No, the legs. Your dad's legs, and then the cop car clipped him. That's where we ended off. I want to hear the rest of the story.
I mean, the whole like the details and how things went are kind of like fuzzy in my head. I have bits and pieces, but like there's a funny story they told me where he got the rods taken out, and the doctor's like, "All right, take it easy, like, you know, don't do too much crazy stuff." And he got a job at a school. I think he was like assisting at a school in Serbia somewhere, and just like one day, like my mom went to pick him up, and like he was standing at the top of the stairs, and it was just like his body just dropped, and then he fell back to the ground. His legs broke again, and the bones cracked again.
Kidding me.
And so he had to get those like rods put back in. And at the time, my mom was getting, you know, these papers to come to Canada. And the lady at the shelter, my mom's like, "Hey, like, can we extend it for like another couple months? Like, it might, you know, my husband just like his like this whole like kerfuffle." And the lady looks at her. She's like, "Woman, like, you're one of the lucky ones that got papers. Get the fuck out while you still can."
Yeah.
Because that's how it apparently was back then. And so, because people didn't know where the war was going to happen, what was going to happen.
Yeah, no one thought there would be a war. Because the Balkans have been through war every 50 years for like hundreds of years.
like my mom was saying that everyone was in denial. Like you see shit like weird shit happening, they start putting like checkpoints, and you're like, no,
That's fucking
like,
time to go,
my
bro.
dad said,
Yeah.
nah,
Time
it's
to
not
go.
gonna happen.
yeah.
If it does, it's time to go. I'll tell you that right.
It
I
can
know,
happen.
I know.
But one thing to learn from Yugoslavia is it was a liberal, successful society for the most part. And the lesson is that shit can happen anywhere. It can happen right here.
It can happen anywhere.
And people are oblivious here because they never suffered shit. So they think they can say whatever they want. They think they can be like, oh no, it's not going to happen here. It can happen here. It can happen here in a month. World War III can happen, and it could happen right here in Toronto. It could happen in the States. A nuclear bomb can fall. God forbid. I hope it doesn't. I pray good things happen for us. But like this shit can happen anywhere.
Yeah. Anyways, we get the papers, whatnot. My uncle follows us with all the luggage in his car. I think we packed everything up in like 7 suitcases, and we took a train to Sofia, Bulgaria.
Oh yeah.
And then we took like some rickety ass plane, like propeller plane to like Poland. And then from Poland we landed in.
So this shit was time sensitive.
Everything was time
'Cause it
sensitive.
was
Meaning like we gotta
sanctions, too.
fucking pack and go.
Everything, yeah. It was just
Dude.
like that.
They lived their whole
That's
life.
fucking scary, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I remember like my parents told me a story when we came to Serbia. Like my mom's uncle had like a vikendica or like a cottage, like somewhere that we kind of stayed in over the summer, but it wasn't winterized, so you couldn't live there. And so we didn't really have a place to live. And my dad's like in this like they were kind of like pushing people like to not all go to Belgrade. So we were living like in the outskirts.
Yeah, because he was a refugee from Croatia.
Yeah, I was a refugee when I was there. And so we were in like some refugee kind of like, I think sort of program. My dad met this one guy who's like, oh, I got a second house like that's livable, you know, just down the street from, this was in Valjevo? I think it's Valjevo. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, oh, how much? He's like, no, don't worry about it. And this guy just gave us
God.
That's so
a house.
nice.
That's
So, like,
God. So you know
literally,
God,
like
there's
it
a
was
God
between
for
like,
sure.
like so my dad would like, out of our options, like the other option, if that guy didn't come, was to like live with some gypsies and
Fuck that.
and the gypsies are like, you're gonna teach my son.
Shout out to the
you're
gypsies,
gonna
but yo,
teach my
like-
son math. Yeah.
In a mud shack.
And it would have been a whole completely different like scenario, but yeah, this guy, like my heart melted when my parents told me that story. Like just like out of the kindness of their heart, they're like, no, we don't want you paying anything.
Well,
Like,
it's so many
good,
people
bro.
got displaced. Croats, Serbs, Bosniaks, everybody, like Albanians, like it was messed up. And then to put it in perspective, there's a lot of Serbian refugees from Bosnia, especially Croatia, because people were
Everybody
getting
back
kicked
came
out
from
of
one
different
place, and
places.
then all of a
but they
sudden
lived
this-
together for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But like basically, if you were one ethnic identity, you had to like be moved to wherever that new border would have to go. But then when the Serbs from Croatia and Bosnia came to Serbia, the Serbs from Serbia were derogatory towards them because they're not from Serbia. They're just Serbs from another province at the time, but now they're countries. And then they had to deal with that type of shit. But you were probably too young to remember any
I was
of
2
that.
years old. I don't
And
remember
plus,
jack
you
shit.
had a nice guy who gave you a house. You guys, that's
Oh
really.
yeah.
But people would come to Belgrade,
God
or then
sent.
they moved them to Kosovo, which is almost a war zone at the time, just to populate it with Serbs. But it's like, oh, they're not Serbs from Serbia. They're Serbs from
Yeah.
like Bosnia, or they're Serbs from.
Yeah.
And people have so much trauma. Croats have trauma. Bosnians have trauma. Serbs have trauma. Albanians, but like, it's just unfortunate. But the sad thing is, it's happening right now. We see what's happening: Israel, Palestine,
Yeah.
Ukraine,
And those guys are
Russia.
like brothers, bro. To see
No
them going
matter
at it,
how much.
I don't. It's unbelievable. They're like half
matter-
brothers, and they're
Semitic, or Slavic with Ukraine, Russia. But this is the problem: the war ends. It's 50 years of trauma, of hatred that you pass on to your kids. I was lucky.
Here's the
that
thing
my
I don't
parents
understand, right?
My parents were intellectuals. Probably helped that they weren't from a war zone. So I was taught to love everybody, that it's all the same shit.
Here's what the only thing about war. I think war is necessary sometimes, even though it shouldn't
Sometimes.
be. Even though it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But I feel like it should be played out like a game. It shouldn't be played where it shouldn't be played out. Okay, so like, there's like millions of like innocent little Palestinian kids and little Israeli kids that are going through it right now, bro. Whether they're getting kidnapped from one side or the other side's holding the other side hostage, putting them in cages. Hamas is doing that.
Everybody's doing
the
some sort of
dropping
terror.
a bomb where the kids are. Like, just if you could just leave that out of it. There's so much valleys all over the earth where we can go to and duke it out. Like back in the days where you don't remember how war was? Before all this, war was like go to the valley.
No, man, war was bad even back then, bro.
War was always bad, man.
But you know,
it's always over
it's
land.
true. They're always going to grab the
land
women and the children.
identity.
It's always land and identity.
Land and identity. That's all it is. And
But
who's
why
gonna
do they always
more
have to
land?
bring the women and the children in?
Because they're the next fucking people who pass on the seed. Back in when
Pass
the
on the
Ottomans
trauma.
took over, they would Serbian women, take the babies and bring them back to the Ottoman Empire.
Janissary system.
Dude, that's just
Why?
I can't
Why did they
all
do that?
shit.
They did that. It's fucked up shit. But like the
To
strategy
ingrain.
behind it was to erase
It was a
one
genius.
It's
nationality and
mental.
to
It's the mental game that
to create a new one. But like basically, I just want from this war conversation. It sucks because even after the wars end, the trauma lingers generationally, epigenetically. You pass it on to your seed, even if you don't
Those
say
kids are
shit.
fucked.
The genetics, it's in your genes, and it takes 9. They say it takes 9 generations unless you wake up and you heal your genetic code to like.
Yeah,
That's
man,
one of
like,
my goals.
This
is
is
like I
serious
have it, even
shit,
though
man.
I'm not technically a refugee. Like I still carry it because in World War II, my grandma was a Holocaust survivor.
You do know that nothing else on this planet could pop off World War III but this.
Yeah.
Nothing. No fucking Ukraine and Russia. No, pick any war you want in the world.
Yeah.
Anywhere it pops off. Pick even Iran has all these nukes and the US wants to. That will never pop off World War III. This is the only thing that
You know where the
pop off
problem
World War
lies?
III is
Is
this
everybody,
war.
it's the ego of man. And they don't see God within their brother, within their enemy.
Or else they would never
When
behave
you look
like
a
this.
person in the eye, you're supposed to see God. You're supposed to see yourself because God's within. And as soon as you other someone, you other another group, you say they, this, them, you don't see yourself in their shoes, it's over. It's that ego. That's the satanic, that's the demonic, that's the darkness. It's such a slight thing because as soon as you see yourself as separate from another group, you don't see them as your brother and sister.
Right, I agree.
That's where the seed of the problem lies, where you forget that that's your brother, your sister. It
100%.
doesn't matter what
The human
color,
race
what
is
race.
one race, G.
We are one, and God is within, and God is living through each of us.
1000%.
Each of our experiences.
1000%.
And as soon as we other ourselves, and we think we're so special that I'm them, you're OG,
You start seeing yourself as the
you're
individual.
Mirko, and we're self-obsessed, or whether it grows into like, oh, our country, our religion, our race, but they on that side, or them, or him, is different.
It was
We're
like
not.
that. That was the rhetoric that our stupid ass prime minister was using during the pandemic. Then a vaccinated person could unvaccinated person, and it was
White supremacists. Meanwhile, half the mans were like Punjabi. White supremacy. It's the rhetoric of othering a group, whether it's vaccinated, unvaccinated,
that's
Israeli,
why,
Palestinian, Serbian, Croatian. It's like people get riled up with these identity politics, and they forget that we're stripping the higher power as soon as we do that.
Yeah,
because we're supposed to see ourselves in each person's shoes, and I think that's we each got to do work on that individually. How do you guys think we break down our divisions globally and unite against the Illuminati?
I don't think we can. That's just a whole nother we can't.
Illuminati is unbeatable.
Signify God over the devil. That everybody just needs to see everybody as another human being. It's just a change of mindset that we need.
The top families, there's like 150 of them, and they rule the world. You say boo to them, and you're gone.
The Illuminati, of course, they don't care about that. They sold their soul to the devil. They don't care about their life. They don't care about God. They just want to follow their worldish fantasies.
I don't really think about the Illuminati that much.
You think we'll always be divided?
Yes. We're living in the Matrix right now.
I think we could do it, man. It just might take some time.
I won't be here when you guys really do it, but hopefully my kids will.
We're all different for a reason. Yeah, unity is good and all, but cooperation, I think, is a better word.
You can unite with people whom you are separate from, right? You can unite with your neighbor, for example, to protest against the housing committee without having to move in together. Malcolm X, they had guest speakers like George Lincoln Rockwell from the American Nazi Party because white nationalists and black nationalists had complementary, mutually beneficial goals.
So you don't think we can win?
Against the people who run this world, the richest, most, no.
Damn, that's grim.
Truth is the truth. We're very expendable.
Did they have you when they were fleeing? Do you remember? Were you with them?
No. I was born in a fucking happy life.
Okay,
it was
good,
a nice
good.
time.
Okay, good.
Because I remember
Because imagine having a child during that.
That's trauma, yeah, and it's passed down to in the womb as well. I'm sure.
Yeah, guarantee.
But even still, I'm trying to like. I question whether because the child's developmental age is from 0 to 5, you absorb everything. So in my
subconsciously you absorb.
Yeah,
1,000%.
from 0 to 2, my family's going through this trauma. So it's probably even surviving coming to Canada. Was
World War II though, two generations past, especially in Croatia. Fucked up.
So how did you? You were born in? Where were you? Here? You were born in here or back there?
I was born in Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia. And then when did you get here? What age?
I was 2.
You were 2?
I was 2. Yeah.
And then where were you guys?
We lived for I think 6 months on Eglinton and Bathurst, with my cousins.
Shout out to Bathurst and Eglinton. Shout out to the Jewish area.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love that area.
Shout out to all the bagel spots.
But I don't remember that. I don't remember that because most of my clearest memories come from they start in Grenoble, 10 Grenoble Drive. Shout out to 10 Grenoble Drive.
Shout out to 10 Grenoble Drive.
Right across from Grenoble Public School. And
by the church?
Yeah. There was a church.
I used to go to that church.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't we ever go to this church? It's so much closer.
It's a wicked church. That church in Grenoble?
We went to the River Girard Church. I'm like, this one's so much closer.
Yeah, and it was better. The doors looked nicer.
And yeah, that's where we came. When we first came to Canada, we moved out from my aunt's place. We started living at 10 Grenoble Drive in Flemington.
Shout out to your aunt.
Shout out to my aunt for and uncle for
housing you guys. Yeah, shout out to our people too that did that for my parents.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the N-word?
Well, it's in the music all the time.
I use it. If someone were to use it to me, I would laugh. But if they use the ER, then I'll take it disrespectful.
You fuck around and you find out,
I think it should be kept to the blacks.
If it pisses a lot of people off, then don't use it.
You can use it. There might come consequences with it. Some people might not like it, but there's freedom of speech. Anyone can say whatever the hell they want.
I think it's outdated. Should be gone.
People shouldn't use it, but don't feel no way about it.
I don't really care.
Do you use the word?
Not really, no. Somebody called me that, it'd be kind of weird because it never really happens.
Do you think anyone can use the word?
I'm gonna refrain from answering questions like that. If you want to use the word, you can use the word. Who am I to really tell you you can't use a word? You know what I mean? But you can't say it to the wrong person though, because the wrong person will crash out.
Black people can only use it. It's a weird thing.
I think anybody can use it, yeah.
Do you think anyone can say it?
Anyone can say it. I think that it's like any word. There's different contexts in which it would be wise to say it and different contexts in which it wouldn't be. I'm a very strategic thinker.
Drake got a lot of flack because back in the day, because Toronto guys would say it with the ER.
Yeah, my
Or
neighbor.
the AR, actually. And that was a Toronto thing. Yeah, like a AR.
Shit.
And then...
what are you saying,
Yeah.
What? I invented that shit pretty much.
So like back in the day, Drake did an early interview and instead of the GA, he was dropping the AR.
Well, Americans won't understand.
They didn't understand it, so they were trying to come after.
Exactly how I just said it to you. You say, my nigger? My nigger, you good? Yo, this nigger is a fucked up youth. That's how they talk. That's how my generation started that, even though we should know.
We should end it with this.
Is it rolling?
Yeah. How many times have you said the word?
No, because it's just not a good word.
Is it rolling?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe we'll use that one.
It's not a good
Should just cut to Steve.
It's just not a good
Oh, this one's rolling still, right?
Yeah.
So
Even
yeah, we have context for the Drake story. But he got a lot of flack because he used the AR And people like identify that as the hard R.
Because
ER.
like, hear what I'm saying to you. If I'm in public right now, and I want this camera, we're rolling. White people, if you see me in public and you say, "What's up, my nigga?" I'm gonna say, "What's up, my nigga?" If you say to me, "What's up, my nigga?" I'm gonna punch you dead in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Even though we used to say it. You know what I'm saying?
It really depends on who it is and what you are, but like...
Because, you know, I'll tell you why. There's a difference between when you say, "What's up, my nigga?" It's like, "What's up, my boy?" But when you say, "What's up, nigga?" You're saying, "What's up, boy?" And there's a big fucking difference between "What's up, my boy?" and "What's up, boy?" It's hey.
Since we're on the N-word topic, let me let black people in on a little secret. I was going to turn this into a stand-up joke. White people say the N-word all the time. White people say the N-word as soon as you leave a room. White people say the N-word when you're not
for
around.
Sure, guarantee.
But you know what pisses me off? What's going on?
Why would they say that?
Why wouldn't they?
Why would they? Why wouldn't they? Why would they? But like...
You don't think when a white guy leaves the room, a lot of niggas are like, "White motherfucker"?
No, they don't say it.
It's cracker ass, nigga.
They don't say it in a negative way. They say it to be cool, and they think it's endearing. But
so when he leaves, like, that's my.
Yeah, and kids are using it more than ever. But what I want to tell black people watching this is white people say it all the time when they're not around. But
just to get into the vibe, like,
just to be
they wish they could say it.
I can't even rap it. Like when I'm by myself in my room and I'm like rapping to the song, I'll skip over it. I'd be like,
why?
Because I'm a cool. Thought I wouldn't have it as done.
No, what's good that you skip over it because you know why? You don't ever want to be fucking saying it regularly, and all of a sudden you're out there thinking you can control it, and all of a sudden, bam, it comes out, and then
I'll break it down. I'm gonna let black people in on a little secret. White people are saying the N-word when you're not around. Boom, newsflash. However, they do it as a term of endearment most of the time, which in itself is racist. Because when I go to these rich white kid parties back in the day, and I see these little Jewish kids, and I see these little like white boys with like their mom buys them everything, they bought them a car, and I hear it every 2 seconds, I want to puke in my mouth because I'm just like, bro. And then here and there, one of them's like, "Yo, but I'm like, don't worry, I got black friends." I'm just like. I'm disgusted. And no, they don't. Maybe they know one acquaintance or something, you know? But I think Immortal Technique said it the best. Don't fucking say the word if you don't know the struggle of the people like deep inside of you. I don't say the word like very rarely. I say it, like when I hear people I know that like are white or whatever groups, and they say it just like to be cool, I cringe. Most of the time they don't say anything.
I don't even like it no more. And I grew up on the street, so nigga is a famous fucking word. Every other word that you say is nigga. My nigga, my nigga.
Well, that's a Toronto
and then even when you're talking bad about another nigga, it's like, that guy's a fucking nigger. See, he'll steal your money and da-da-da, this and that. But when you're talking about one of your niggas, it's like my nigga. But if a white person says my nigga, or you're a fucking nigger, I'm gonna punch him in the face. I'm gonna black his eye because, right? But that's just how it was for the longest time.
But
now that I'm getting older, fam, I fucking don't even like the word no more.
Well, Tupac had an interview where they asked him about it, and he's like, "ER is like."
So did that white as a substitute teacher.
Only why is because that's how they said it. Yeah. That's how they said it.
It depends.
Like my great grandma is from Africa. She's full black. Like she was part of the there's a tribe there.
What country?
The Maasai tribe, bro.
Maasai?
She was a Maasai. My mom is half black.
Yeah, so you're quarter black.
I don't really care to even.
You're mixed.
I don't even care to, you know, my people know, my regins them know. Most of the hoods in Toronto, they know, but like I don't really go out there saying whatever. But I'm just breaking it down.
Yeah.
And even still, like, just, I don't know, the word is just like, you know what I mean?
It's a heavy word.
I feel like you've used it in this interview, like at the beginning.
I've used it in my life a million times because of the streets.
Because of the streets.
Recently, I've been toning down on it. Yes.
Oh, you've been toning it down. Okay.
Because
I'm just saying, like at the beginning.
I've been working on my speech, bro.
It's used.
I've been trying to, between me and you, I've been trying to erase that. See, there it is right there. Erase that. I'm trying to erase that. The way I even said, I'm trying to erase that. Like, I'm trying to erase that, what I just said there.
The
How
issue with the word is...
I'm trying to speak differently.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm from Toronto. I could always break it up when I'm with my friends. But, like, as far as when you're out here and you're trying to do business and you're trying to get things done in corporate settings and all kind of other things, you can't really be on that, yo, fam, so here's the proposal scene. What the fuck, bro? They're gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid?
The problem is there's such negative connotations with the word. People of African descent have flipped the word as a term of endearment towards each other. And since black people form culture and pop culture, everybody wants to be cool like black people.
So that's how I talk. I talk like that. I talk with the Toronto shit or I talk that Jamaican shit because that's who I grew up with.
Yeah.
Bunch of fucking Jamaicans to the point where like, yo, dog.
But Jamaicans don't even like use the word like that.
Really,
maybe
bro.
in Toronto, maybe in North America.
It's just a
it's
stigma.
not a
It's just a
Jamaican
stigma.
thing.
Enough-
This
You
is
understand
an
perfect
American thing, and it's like there's so much negativity and pain and slavery associated to the word dehumanization, and that's why the word carries that weight. Where certain people say, but everybody says the word depending on the setting in different ways. And it also depends on region. Like Canada is different from the States.
I think you know what it is? We have to, I don't mind words. We all do that comedy shit and have jokes and laugh around and it's fun, right? So it's not even that sensitive to me. I think it's more of, because I'm doing deeper studies into like, yo, you know what all of us, the energy.
Energy of a
meditation.
word.
So the word,
the
right?
resonance of a word.
Yeah, so like, it just might be bad energy to use the fucking word because of what it represents. Even if you look at just the normal word, if it literally tell you the word and you go into the dictionary, you look at it and it means, what is it? It means like something negative or something?
Yeah.
It's still fucking negative. So why use the fucking negative word? Could be just crossing, jinxing up our life. You just never know.
Yeah. There's no need to say it. Like,
don't they say words or spells? Like all these TikTok videos I see lately is talking about words or spells and watch how you use the English language. And
there's resonance in every meaning and every thought and every emotion. But
you never seen those?
No, I don't do.
Oh my God, I gotta get a life, bro.
Personally,
it's all that is your job, bro. You work fucking chemist.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like using the word. I don't hide myself from using the word. I don't believe in that. I feel a lot of, I'm an empath, so I feel for people, and I've gone through a lot, and I've been from a stigmatized group. I could never conceive of what it would like to be.
Are you doing this just for the cameras or something? Because every time I've been with this guy, every other nigga downtown stops and my nigga, this guy's like my nigga. Like I swear to God, man him alone.
What I'm trying to say is I don't know what it's like to be black because I'm not black. I know what it's like to be Serbian, and it's not easy.
Social Chicago for 2 years.
I know from my boys. I know from very close nearby. I'm as close as you can get without actually being black. And I'm not gonna say I know what it's like to be black, but I understand to a certain degree from what I can understand the pain that's associated to that. So I don't hide from using the word, but I only use the word when I'm doing an impression.
Yo, my bro, this guy went to Southside Chicago. The whole hood is black and he's white. And he stayed there for 2 years. Any other white motherfucker would have left. They would have ran. They would have jumped on the plane and said, I can't deal with this shit.
No, I think it's that one.
They would have left. They would have said, I can't deal with this shit. Honest to God, tell me, you didn't see some shit while you were there?
I understand the N-word pass. I don't like using the word. I cringe when I hear like white rich kids say the word. I don't use the word in passing. I will use the word when I'm telling a story impersonating someone who said it.
No, but here's it.
And I am going to write it in a fucking movie or in my TV show because it's reality. And if you have a problem with that, you
like I was
suck
telling
my
this guy
dick.
earlier, bro. I seen so much niggas downtown heal this guy out, bro. Rappers, fucking everybody, like name it. Just, and what's up, my nigga? What's up, my nigga? Like,
The thing is, I'm not like, my skin's white, but I'm not white. I'm not Anglo-Saxon. We escaped the war zone. We're Slavic. We're Southern Slavs. We're Yugoslavs, Serbian. We're a completely different race. And
totally
I have a cool story before I'm sorry, Mirko, I cut into your story. We keep getting distracted.
But let's stop. There's nothing wrong with the white race.
No, there's nothing wrong with
But
being white.
you're
or
just
Anglo-Saxon.
we're here.
I'm just a
They're
different
not
race.
white. I love white people.
In the cafeteria in Chicago State, we have the black supremacists. You know, far right black supremacists, burn
Israelites.
the women. Some of them were just extreme.
You call yourself
black,
Israelites or
black,
something.
Pro.
5%ers like the Muslim ones.
Some of them were Muslims. Some of them black Israelites. Some of them were just black nationalists. Essentially, black Nazis.
Just straight fuck the white.
So they got
man.
but keep in mind my school's hood, right? So they got the fucking megaphones in the cafeteria, and they got the whole shit, like the posters and everything. And this is what I want to put in my show. Right?
You would have left.
I would have left.
Anybody in their right mind would have left. Like if you're white and you're
So
in the hood like that. I would have had so much fucking fun. I would have kicked.
I'm going to school in the HBC, right? And they're in the cafeteria, the black nationalists. They got the megaphone in the cafeteria. It's like, you see all them white people all over the globe, put them on an island and drop a nuclear bomb on them. And
that's not even funny, bro. I don't even know why I'm laughing.
Round all the white devils, round them all up, and kill them all.
And they let this shit. They let them say.
Bro, they just stand in the corner every Thursday. They're doing their thing.
But there's no way that whole calf. I don't care how much black kids are in there. They're not all listening to this shit.
They don't give a
of them are not even fucking listening to that. I already know.
90% of them.
Every Thursday is like a Thursday.
They're there like regularly. Nobody gives a shit.
Dude, I wish I was there,
kids.
bro.
You know how university is? There's so many cliques. They're just the one hard right-wing black nationalist clique. So they're there and they're like, get the white devils all on an island, drop a nuclear bomb on them. Keep in mind, at this time, I'm 260 on roids with a shaved head, massive. I'm walking by with a salad and I'm like, preach.
The white, this guy's savage
and the guy's
dude,
like,
bro.
Confused as shit.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I sit down and I eat, right? So I start seeing one dude eating alone. And I sit with him. And I'm like, hey, what's good, bro? And he's like, oh, nothing, just preaching a word. I'm like, oh, what's the word? And he's like, oh, you know, why? Like, yeah, like white people enslave you for like 400 or 500 years.
And he's telling you this shit.
Slavery's fucked up. White people colonialized the whole world and did some fucked up shit, bro. And he's like, what's your name? I'm like, what's your name? He's like, Jermaine. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, man. He's like, what's your name?
Because in his head, he's like, this nigga
I'm like,
knows.
Nem. He's like, Nem. Oh, like, I'm like, he's like, what? I'm like, that's my name. He's like, Nem. I'm like, yeah, it's short for Nemanja. And he's like, what? And I'm like, oh,
never heard nothing like that.
It's an old Serbian name. And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, it's its own race from Southeast Europe. Like, my skin is white, but I'm not what you know as white. I'm a different race, but I have the same skin color. And he's like,
head gone.
Like, yeah, they probably like they don't.
Head top gone.
And so we would start having conversations, and I'd see him here and there, and I'd eat with him at lunch. And he ended up leaving the group after a month of conversations, just talking to me, talking about like history, the world, and just like different races and histories.
He's a good guy.
And like, I want to put that in my show. Obviously, my show is going to be like an absurd comedy, but I want to touch on these. Like,
that must have been so refreshing for a guy like that to just be there in that environment and be like, yo, just to meet somebody new and just different. And
yeah, because people are segregated, right? Because that's the most segregated place in America. Ironically,
America in general
Southside
is a
Chicago,
segregated place.
60 square miles, not one person's not black. Like
even in like New York, the bus, they sit together. Like you go on the bus in New York, you got the blacks, the Puerto Ricans, the fucking Indians.
You
the
don't
Chinese.
have like that one Eminem dude that's like.
Yeah, you always get those guys that don't give a
one
fuck.
or two.
Yeah, they're cool as shit. They sit up.
It's a very
they'll
rare
come sit
situation.
between everybody.
There's
like,
always one. There's always one overcompensating.
That's me.
But he grows up. They grow up in. You are a product of your environment, right? So like and people, if they're segregated, they think a very specific, colloquial way. And that's how they grow up thinking. And if they don't see the world, if they don't meet people.
Hard on there,
bro, I met a girl that was 19 my freshman year. She's like, you're the first white person I ever had a conversation with. I'm like, no, there's no way.
Yes,
you live in
is.
the United States of America, Chicago.
She probably never left her hood, that's why.
She's like, no, I go shopping downtown all the time, and ladies who sell me stuff in the mall are white, and I say thank you, but it's never more than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And like growing up in Toronto with every race, I'm just like, I couldn't conceive.
Thank God we live here, bro.
I'm grateful.
I am grateful for the city still.
But
I
those are
have
some
friends of
crazy
all
stories.
races and nationalities, and I love all of them. Some of them are nerds, some of them are gangsters, some of them are tech people, some of them just all walks
I'm
of
so
life.
grateful to have
I'm
friends
glad-
from every single race,
Yeah,
every
bro.
single country.
Thank God for Toronto.
And I learned something from each of them. I started like, as a late, I have more native friends, and just hearing their stories is just like mind blowing because it's, like my buddies Cree Nation, and they're like most of Canada. You go north, and it's like a whole belt of Canada is all Cree Nation, and they run the whole thing. It's it's been their country for thousands of years. I'm like, so you don't consider yourself Canadian? He's like, hell no, don't say that word. I'm like, what? He's like, no, I'm not Canadian. I'm Cree, and I have my own country. And so does all the other native groups that they were like completely eradicated, slaughtered. It's crazy to just learn from different groups of people and empathize with them. That's kind of like understanding, putting yourself in their shoes.
It's getting out of your comfort zone. A lot of people segregate because they're uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I just want to be with my niggas because we know what we're talking about, and when I talk about it, I can't really go talk to them about black shit, or I can't go over there and talk to them about
You
this
don't have
shit.
to talk about black shit.
I know, but that's what I'm
talk
trying
about
to
other shit.
Yeah,
learn more
and then like you got some guys on the corporate world, and they're looking over there like, well, I don't really got nothing to talk to them about. Like they wouldn't really understand these files, and they wouldn't understand the softwares. And
people
but they
have
would.
a lot more in
But
common
they
than
would.
they think.
But they would. People would understand each other a lot more than you think.
Yeah, people have way more in common with each
But
other.
again-
You could be from Nigeria or Ghana, and somebody can be from
Yeah.
Argentina, and somebody can be from
1000%.
northern Siberia, and all people want is to be happy.
Like if I stayed in Guyana,
Yeah,
between me and you, I would have probably only date coolie girls and black girls,
yeah.
who I love. I love coolie girls
We
and
all
black
love-
girls.
we all
But what I'm
love-
saying is, because of Toronto, like I've dated every girl, man. Like every different race of girl. Most of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sounded really fucked up. Like it wasn't a lot, but I'm just saying, like, well, like okay, so in Guyana they call them brown
It's
girls.
the
right?
C
Like,
word.
like Guyanese brown girls, they call them coolie girls. Well, they call brown people in Guyana. It's a very derogatory term, like nigga, same thing, but
Never heard of it.
yeah, coolie is like it's like a you know in India, the guys that hold the thing and they pull the people. That's a coolie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like a rickshaw?
yeah,
Now I understand why it's derogatory.
yeah.
Because you're like a slave kind of worker.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's the West Indies. We have all
Yeah.
these names and weird shit, and people do say weird stuff.
Sorry, we keep cutting Mirko off.
Yeah.
Mirko,
We don't keep cutting Mirko off. We cut him off once and we
We're-
never came back.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's
let's go back to Mirko before we close this out.
I'll tell you.
You guys
No, I know where you
came to
left off.
Canada. You grew up in Flemo. Church. You know, your dad's leg started working. You escaped the war.
Had like started working and you're like, oh, is it working now? Let's go.
Your dad's leg started working. And then you decided, Mom, Dad, I want to be an artist.
That's a big jump.
Oh my God, that's too big. What happened in between that?
Yeah, I don't know.
What was your like? Okay, grade 4 or 5, typical school day.
So grade 4 or 5, by then I moved to North York. My parents bought their first property because we were renting up until then.
No way, you got your first
Good for
property in
them.
grade 4 or 5?
No,
Good for them.
grade 2.
Oh, nice.
Your parents are
Congrats.
good people. They're smart people. They handle their business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're really good. Shout out to both of them for working hard.
yeah.
Shout out to Mom and Dad.
Because look at what they did to
Me
get
too.
here. Gave up all that and still came here and still managed to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After
They
some
made it
years.
happen.
They made it happen, yeah. For real.
Yeah, grade 4 or 5 was age, 9, 10? Crestview Public School. No crazy stories. Like for me, I was kind of like a class clown. So that's one of the things is I developed this kind of comedic persona.
He's a Serbian Mr. Bean.
I fucking loved Mr. Bean, man. When I grew up, Mr. Bean was like, when I saw this guy drop from that like skylight or whatever onto that street and just do all this like stupid random shit, I'm like, I was dying. I was pissing
Mr.
myself
Bean was the
laughing.
guy.
I'm like, who is this guy? I love him.
Yeah.
And I used to imitate Mr. Bean and I used to imitate Jim Carrey and all these like comedians.
Legends.
Because they fucking, I don't know, man. They made me happy and
Yeah.
I just wanted to give that to other people. But I also realized later on in life that comedy was kind of my way of connecting with people because I was shy. And I was shy. I remember being shy as far as like I can remember, like even in kindergarten, you know. And so jokes and like being funny was what worked for me. And it was also kind of a defense. It kept the bullies from like picking on me. I think I had like maybe like one or two people who try to pick on me, but like I was never really bully, you know. And I'd see
diffuse the situation with comedy.
Always I diffuse with comedy, or I just be like, fuck that guy. I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna hang around with that person, right? And so I think it was a bit of a defense as well, and I noticed that. But you know, as you grow up and you grow older, your parents would always, my parents, especially like you have Eastern European parents, are like, oh, when are you gonna get serious? When you cut yourselves beady?
Yeah.
You know, when are you gonna get serious?
Yeah. You keep fucking dicking around.
Jokes, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think they kind of subdued that in me over the years, and I've been trying to kind of like come back to it and like find a way to balance being both like funny, but also like not just like a class to like dicking around. And,
yeah.
Well, when I met you, I was blown away by your acting skills. Like, you're a properly trained dramatic actor, but you're also a comedian. So it's like,
very
this guy
funny
knows,
fucking guy.
Like, you see him play
Naturally
Big Dog. Y'all
funny.
see him play Big Dog.
No, but even aside from those characters, this guy's naturally funny, bro.
Yeah, he's just naturally funny. You know how to connect to a character.
This fucking guy's naturally funny.
And you're very good. You're very talented, and it's also very inspiring watching you act, because you know how to tap into each character very quickly. Whereas someone like me, I'm a writer, director first, and then I'm an actor.
Yo, when I'm with this guy makes me laugh hard, bro.
I know.
Even I brought my girl around, she was laughing hard too, and I was like,
Yeah.
yo, she's never coming around this guy again.
Natural.
I'm joking.
No, but I can attest to that.
No, this guy makes us laugh, bro. He's funny.
You're very funny, and you're naturally funny. And also, the comedy aspect, growing up, I was also the class clown. But I realized later down the road, it was a self-defense mechanism, because I always had arguments at home. So every day someone was arguing at home, and me being a goofball was a way to protect myself and my child. Nothing too bad, but my parents were struggling. They were
all of us,
we came to a new
You
country.
tried to also kind of like lighten the environment at home.
Lighten
like,
it, make people laugh. Yeah.
I think if you ask all the, like, because I wasn't trying to do comedy either, but I was always the class fucking clown.
Let's go.
And that's why always.
Let's go.
Like, I swear to God to you, yo, you know, put it this way. I'm dead serious, bro. I'd walk into the class, first day of school, don't know who's in my class, don't know anything, and I would hear this, yes, from multiple people in the class, because they knew it was fucking on. Steve.
It's fun.
Yeah, Steve.
We're fun guys.
Yeah, they know. Oh, you hear the yes.
Yo, guys, we're fun guys.
Because everybody knows. So that would just amp you up to just fucking crack jokes all throughout the year, bro.
We're fun guys.
And everybody gasses you up, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you got into comedy as well.
I think
that's how you became funny.
I was funny because of that, but I also growing up I was still a little. People when I was younger like, you should be a stand-up comedian, and I'm like, no fucking way am I going up there, and like I don't know how to be a stand-up comedian. I don't know how to say something. Like for me, being funny was kind of more of
you just had a sense of humor, you were a jokey guy, and you just it was fun, yeah.
I wasn't like I don't know like to say something on purpose to make people laugh.
Right.
I'll just like, you know,
because you're just that witty and smart enough to come up with something naturally that when you're hearing it, it's not like you put any thought into it, it just naturally comes out.
Based on like the sense of humor, I gather from people around you and or TV, you know.
Because let's face it, you have to be pretty smart to be able to. Let's think about it, bro. You have to be pretty smart to crack a joke.
Facts, bro.
When someone says something to you and you naturally say something funny, do you know what your brain just went through to come up with that witty shit? More than the average answer than if you would just say, duh.
But that's the thing. Comedians are some of the smartest.
Jokes. Here's the thing.
Who cares though?
A lot of my jokes were cheap, like stupid jokes, and I would like say 20 like stupid things, and maybe like 5 of them would land. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's it. But
people don't hear the other.
But if they don't laugh, that doesn't mean it wasn't funny. It just wasn't funny to fucking them.
I don't know, man.
Comedians are some of the funniest people in the world. Comedians are some of the smartest people in the world.
Your brain works like that.
Some of the saddest people.
That's true too.
Lonely.
And smartest people are some of the saddest people in the world.
That's too, yeah. So it's
there's definitely a correlation between comedy and pain, comedy and tragedy, and intelligence with pain. Because the more you know, the more you see the darkness in the world. But you don't have to. You don't have.
And knowledge is deadly. You gotta watch out.
Yeah, knowledge is a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you don't want your eyes to be opened.
Yeah. I think we should, but we need to know how to turn our thoughts off.
Just know yourself. If you're the type of person that's gonna sensory overload on the internet, and you're gonna read up a lot of things out there, a lot of things are traumatizing. They are going to have a long-term effects on your mind. So know yourself. If it's going to make you depressed, if it's going to make you social anxiety, and it's going to make you not want to go anywhere, it's going to make you want to lock off in the world, don't do it. But if you're the type of person that you seek knowledge, you know you can handle it, you've done it before, it doesn't, you know? Because you can go to the edge of knowing so much that you're like, what's the fucking point of living?
Facts.
It'll get you right there to something so simple as that. And you don't want to go there.
Mirko, what's the goals? What's your goals moving forward?
Short-term goal, I'm working behind the scenes. I'm writing a web series with a friend of mine.
Nice.
Cool.
I'm not
Don't
saying
spoil
anything.
it.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
any
don't
details.
even talk about it, man.
That's all you
should, yeah. Just leave it there.
I'm working as an engineer right now, just making money and getting smarter so that I can get funnier.
Don't get too sad.
Don't get too smart.
Right. And I'm trying to balance that with that, you know, having fun, living life, meeting people, playing sports, and, you know, doing me. But long-term wise, it's just make money doing the things I love so I can spend more time with the people I love too, you know? And make a lot more money so you could spend time with people, travel more as well, you know?
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to end with? Any funny shit? Funny stories?
I don't know, man.
Play the tape.
Just play the tape.
Play the tape.
I'll put something in there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Come back to us laughing at the tape. That
was
a good one.
Oh, wow.
Man. Well, guys, it was a pleasure. Hope that you guys got to know us a bit better this episode. We're going to, you know, let you in on little secrets about our characters down the road as well. And, you know, we're going to kick it a bit more, and you guys will learn more about us, even if there's guests or not. But thanks for watching another episode of Nam's World Uncut, brought to you by Content Day. Make sure you follow and subscribe.
And we're out.
Cut.
All right, good stuff, guys.
Oh, shout out to...
Yeah, you're still rolling. We're not allowed to show brands.
I can prove to you that I'm a Toronto man. See this juice box? Just took it from the kid of the mom who I just banged before I got here.
Respect, bro.
And I got the juice box. What?
Yeah.
That's your girl.
Yeah, so?
You just saved my girlfriend.
It's a joke, buddy. Jesus Christ, ruined the whole fucking joke.